Hello everybody, and welcome to Cool Spot. Originally a 7-Up ad. This game is a doozy. I've never beaten it, actually. And that's all you can expect for a tutorial. We're starting at Shell Shock, which is the first level. Think Mario, but really jerky physics and game design. I do have to wonder sometimes if these games were really meant to be beaten by people, or if they were like a steal your quarters kind of thing. Fun fact, I actually spent months on this level, even though it's the first level of the game. You don't have to get all these, but it does improve your score. And I think you have to be a certain percentage of cool in order to beat the game. Or not beat the game, but beat the board. I'm not quite sure about that, though. Fun fact, I do like 7-Up. But that was before I, stopped drinking soda, so... You can, shoot soda, which I forgot, at these crabs and other enemies that might, kill you. You have quite a few hits that you can have. Oops. Almost died with the one up. You can also angle a little bit. You get a 7-Up, it's a 1-Up, I believe. Alright. I think the most I've ever made it to was the 3rd level of the game. And then I never beat it past that. I don't even know what these things in the sky are. Oh yeah, you're also timed. To make things even harder. Alright. The layering of the sprites in this particular game is a little off. Sometimes, and it can get you hurt. Alright. We have to save our 7-Up brother. Oops. It's not good if I fall now, is it? Ah, crap. I generally have this rule about games, though. And this is why, despite, you know, appreciating a lot of the concept behind this game, just stating that this is a pretty difficult game. And it doesn't help when the timer is a bit of an issue. So you basically have to shoot the gate open. Yeah, you can get a 1-Up depending on how much cool you got. And how much leftover time you have. And this, in particular, is like one of the worst levels, I think. Alright. I'm not quite sure either why this guy is, you know, red instead of green. Because 7-Up is green, but okay. Alright. Oops. Yep. But yeah, like I said, I don't think... Like, I think Mario's time limit's fair, but I think for ones like this where it's more of a puzzle platformer, where Mario is... It has some puzzle elements sometimes, but mostly you're just supposed to get the end. I think that's more fair. But with this, you're kind of like going on a limb, most of it. Not quite sure how I'm supposed to get down. Okay. That's what happens when you die. Alright. You basically have to start the entire level over again. With the same enemies you just killed, the same shtick as that. That, and I guess my level of difficulty that I like for a platformer is having, like, the platforming itself be the hard part. Instead of, like, a bunch of enemies just being the main problem. To me, it kind of reminds me of Bubsy and all them. I don't think my family has actually ever beat this game. I know I definitely have not. Alright. Alright. Another thing with these kinds of gimmicks of games, I always feel like, and I'm not sure if it's just me, but I always feel like when you're playing them, there's a sense of, like, and also you can get hurt there while trying to respawn, which is great. These games always feel like the gameplay was not considered, but the concept was. So, because they wanted the concept, they then were like, hey, you know, we want this done, we don't care how this might affect gameplay or how might people enjoy the game because we wanted this as a concept, or that jazz. Alright. Oh, I didn't see that was open. Ah, crap. So this game might get the same treatment as, Wizardry Heart of Maelstrom, and I'm probably going to play another random game from the wheel, or Link to the Past today instead of tomorrow. Because I don't see myself playing this for very much longer. Nothing's actually here, okay. Alright. And I'm dead. That's my last cool spot. What did you expect, game? And yes, as you can see, you game over, you have to start from absolute beginning again. There is actually no checkpoint system at all. There's no such way to save. So in order to beat this game, you have to beat it in one go. I wanted to wait until I got a game over to state that. But yeah. Also, that music is probably copyrighted because it's Surfin' Bird. But anyway. Just acoustics though. It's no voices, but still. So yes, this is another reason why I do not like this game as much as I think I would've. I think it would be fair to be like, hey, game over, either you go back a level or you play the same level over again, if there's no such thing as a save system. But I feel like if you don't have a save system, and you game over and you have to beat the entire game over again, that's pretty mean. And like I said before, I think this was a game that was meant to steal children's quarters, and yeah. Because a lot of games at the time were made specifically for children, quote-unquote, but it was meant to be, like, just one of those games that takes quarters. Because the company only got as rich as however much someone lost so that they could, you know, put another quarter in. So I'm always thinking about that when they make these kinds of games that, unlike Kaizo being hard but still beatable, like it's a logistic kind of hard, it's meant to be hard, for the challenge of it, this is just like hard to be thieves. And like, I don't know if this was on arcade or not, but it just seems very odd for a game that, if it wasn't arcade mode, to have a game over and that be the end of it. Like, once you game over, that's it. You have to start all the way back from the first level of the game. And I don't see a lot of kids back then even wasting hours of their lives attempting to beat this game. I mean, it's fun to play when you're just, like, casual about it. But if you actually intend to beat it, it's a very difficult and annoying experience, and yeah. And even as hard as games like Zombies Ate My Neighbors and a lot of other games by, what's her name now? I can't remember. But they're notorious for doing stuff like Zombies Ate My Neighbors and other stuff that was, at the time... Oh, can I not beat you unless it says... Oh, okay. So... that's another thing. You have to get some sort of item or enough cool to be able to open that. So even if you know where to go... you can't just, like, end the level quickly so that you can just, you know, continue on. You have to actually get something. Just kinda dumb. When you have the system of Well, if you game over, you're just gonna have to start all over again. But anyway, that company was very well known for, making games that had a password for your saves. Which is alright, because at least you could save. But again, if you died, then everything was pretty much lost. Unless you had your, code that they gave you. The problem with that system is it would not save your items or anything like that, so you'd have to be basically starting from the beginning of the game, but you'd have to be starting from the beginning of the game, basically, with all the equipment and whatever that you get. Oh joy, I got the one up. Okay, it says there, collect 60 cool points. I was wondering. But even as a kid, we had these games, like Cool Spot, Bubsy, another one, I forget what it was. Tiny Toons Adventures, Toon Adventures, all those kind of games where they were very... I'm really convinced that a lot of these games back then that are made for some sort of advertisement of a program, no thought was given to the gameplay. Because while they're fun in theory, they're quite annoying and can be frustrating at times, and they're not player-friendly. So it makes you wonder. At least makes me wonder. Because generally... a lot of these decisions wouldn't be made in a normal game. Even the ones that are known for having a password for your saves, they're still easier than... well, they're gone now. Kinda reminds me of a game I'm not sure anybody of you have ever heard of, but it's called Young Merlin. And I'm convinced that that's one of the hardest games to exist. Because you can die from, like, everything in that game. Kinda like Kaizo, but, like, if Kaizo didn't have the option to have save states, and you had to, like, put in a password for everything. Like, you actually had to manually put in a password that you yourself create out of the entire alphabet and, like, 6 letters and numbers that you can enter to make a password for yourself so you can get back to where you were. I commend anyone who is able to beat that game without some form of saving it, because that game is ridiculously hard and I've never beaten it because of the password system. Granted, I didn't even know it had a password system for a while. I just kept going and going, and then would be like, well, eventually it's gonna save, right? Nope. I don't really care about lives at this point. But anyway. And see that is jerky. Flies are set to spawn exactly in this area. Which means no matter what, you're gonna get hit because of loading time. And you can't move. Which means you're already down a man. Which is bizarre. That they would do that as a gameplay concept. And again, I think this game has potential to be a really fun game. I just think they should make save slots for it. Because I think back at the time that this was made, it wasn't that hard to make save slots. Because I think it would be really hard to learn how a game works if you had to constantly replay the beginning stages. Because of gimmicks that the game stage had. Like, say, hitting you whenever you hit a checkpoint. When you first start, you already got a hit. Alright. Probably gonna die with the next, yep. But anyway, that's all I have to say here. I think this game had a lot of potential. But I think in the end, it didn't really matter. Because honestly... like... I think this game was a gameplay mistake. There's a lot you can do with this kind of, you know, system that they had in place, but I think that they had all the gameplay flaws. So that's unfortunate. But still. And again, the lack of a save file, it's not good. But yeah. So, thank you all for watching. I'll see you in probably the next video, because I'm probably gonna upload something else with this. Still not sure. See you guys then.